cardio monitoring service, Miss Adams speaking.
This is Arthur Sinclair. I'd like to run a pacemaker check.
Is this an emergency?
No.
All right, sir. Charge number?
8986. I'm calling from San Francisco, but it's a Los Angeles charge.
Is your equipment ready?
Yes.
Give me about 10 seconds after the phone's in your transmitter.
Am I alive?
Yes, sir. It's a good reading. No trouble at all.
My compliments to your computer.
Oh, Mr. Sinclair. I was just coming to tell you you're on in about 10 minutes.
You see? I read your mind.
This set is,
That way. Yes, I know.
Every time you do a movie these days, they want you to take your clothes off.
Those devils.
But in my next film...
You keep your clothes on. Yes, and it's in very good taste.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, well, I don't object if the story calls for it. And
for nudity.
And I'm not exploited. If it's not exploited. Yeah.
Well, how nude are you?
Oh, well, you don't go to bed with, like, in a parka and fur boots, do you?
Yes, I would.
Excuse me, there's a long-distance call for you. It's your wife.
Oh, how much time do I have?
Oh, about 2-3 minutes. You're on after the next commercial. It's right over there. Just keep your eye on the monitor, okay?
Yes.
This is Mr. Sinclair. You have a call for me?
Yes, sir. Your party's on the line. Arthur?
Allison.
Just wanted to call to say I miss you. Is that worth running up the phone bill?
Absolutely. I'm glad you called.
How do you feel?
Reasonably vertical.
I'm serious.
No problem. The usual adrenaline. Oh, and I ran a check on the gadget. It's ticking nicely.
Good. Keep it that way. I'll pick you up tomorrow at the airport. Excuse me. Coming up.
Right. I have to go. Love you.
Me too. Good luck on the show. How was I?
Not bad.
You approve?
Mm-hmm. It was very convincing. You might as well turn on the set.
Why should I?
But you're not going to watch the show.
The important thing is that he's 500 miles away.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is a very spooky guy. The world-famous mentalist Arthur Sinclair. Welcome back, Arthur.
Nice to be here.
You know Andrea Michelle, don't you?
Oh, yes, of course.
Don't read her mind, or we'll get thrown off the air. So how are you? Or should I say, how am I?
Well, you're fine, Marty, especially since you sold that stock this morning. Good move. It's dropped 5 points already.
Now, how in the world did you know that?
I suppose that's why you had Eggs Benedict for breakfast. You were celebrating.
You have a spy in my house.
In your mind. You've been worrying about your cholesterol count all day.
Okay, stop already, huh? Let's just get out of my head. Why don't you tell the audience about your new book?
Oh, well, thanks for the plug. State of Mind. It's about how we only use 50% of our mental capabilities. By the way, the answer to that question is yes.
What question?
The one you were just thinking. You asked yourself if I was married.
I told you he was spooky, didn't I? Okay, the book is State of Mind by Arthur Sinclair. And now I get my revenge. We have a little challenge we've cooked up for Mr. Sinclair. Are you ready, Arthur?
Hope so.
Okay. Can we get a shot of that safe? Now, for those of you who have been watching the show, that's been hanging there all week. In fact, I took it out to the factory myself, and they let me reset the combination. So no one knows what it is except yours truly.
Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, that this model is guaranteed burglar-proof. Also, that I arrived here from my home in Los Angeles just a few hours ago. Marty, did you give the combination to any members of your staff?
Nope. Not even my shrink.
So, if I can tell you what it is, I'd have to be able, literally, to read your mind.
Arthur, if you can pry those numbers out of my skull, they'll make you head of the IRS.
All right? Let's give it a try.
Okay. All right, lower it away. Wait just a second. Hold it. There's just one little kicker. Something you didn't know about, unless you're reading my mind right now. Before I locked the safe, I put a certain object inside.
Oh?
I'm sorry to throw you this curve, but you see, if you can, by some miracle, figure out that combination, well, that's when the fun begins. Because then you have to tell me what's behind the door. Okay, let's lower the safe.
You smoke too much.
Yeah, well, I'm not the one with a bad heart.
I like you in his robe.
Huh?
Are you staying tonight?
No. No, I can't. Full day rehearsal tomorrow, and I have to get some sleep.
Such a waste.
He must be on by now. What if he asks you questions about the show?
I'll look at it later.
Oh, that's right, you're recording it.
House rule. Whenever he's on television, I have to videotape it for posterity.
Huh? Hey,
You're in training
what for?
next Monday night.
I didn't make any promises.
But you are thinking about it.
Yes. But
That's good enough for now. Why don't you go make both of us a drink?
Mhm.
Unhooked.
Yes, get on.
Oh, thank you.
You make a beautiful safe crack. Doesn't she?
You ready, Marty? I'm getting the number 8. Turn the dial to the right, please, to 8. I'm getting a 20. No. 24. Turn left to 24. This is hard work. The last one, Marty. I want you to form a picture in your mind. 9. I see a 9. Turn right to 9. Now pull the handle.
Arthur, I gotta tell you, you are truly amazing. There's no way you could have figured out that combination. But now comes the hard part. Unless you want me to let you off the hook.
No. Let's take a shot at it. You put something in the safe. Some mysterious object. I want you to form a clear picture in your mind. Is it small enough for me to hold?
Yeah.
I want you to project its image on the palm of my hand. Now, concentrate. I think I see it. Yes. It's coming clear. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not the only author in the house. Marty has written a book. It's due for publication this week. It's titled Changing Channels, and it tells about his misadventures in what we laughingly call television land. Marty, you put a copy of your own book in that safe.
I don't believe it.
I hate to admit it, but he is good. The funny thing is, he's as much of an actor as I am. It's a con job. He convinces the audience. Allison. Allison.
One more for good measure.
What the hell are you doing?
Did you make me that drink? Gil, how many times do I have to tell you no ice? Cheers. It's empty. I only loaded 2 blanks.
What are you trying to prove?
Is the phone ringing? Is there anyone knocking at the door?
No.
Then I've made my point. The sound doesn't carry beyond this house.
Well, how do you know the neighbors aren't calling the police?
Because I've tried it before. How's your heart?
It's pounding.
Exactly.
There's got to be some other way.
There isn't.
Well, you could divorce him, you know.
We've been over that. Arthur's made a great deal of money in the past few years, and I'm a very greedy little girl.
Okay, fine. Be greedy. Take half the community property.
I don't want half. I want all of it, including the insurance money. Gil, I've never pretended with you. I'm not sweet, and I'm not innocent. I like to live well. If you wanted someone to bring home to Mother, you should have found somebody else.
You're one hell of a cold-blooded lady.
Cold-blooded?
Let's not start.
Let's.
I'm going home.
All right, you're angry. That's not an answer, is it? Sooner or later, you have to decide. We can have it all. It's so easy.
A piece of cake, right? Like falling off a log.
It can be.
Maybe.
Gil, do you want me?
Yes.
Then help me, please. Hi.
Hi, yourself.
I'll take this one. How was the flight?
Oh, some dear little old lady asked me to predict the Daily Double. Other than that, it was fine.
Oh, you poor darling. Fame is such a burden.
And I love every minute of it.
I can't believe he didn't tell you to spring something like that while you were on the air.
It was his idea of a joke.
How did you know it was his book?
I didn't.
You mean you guessed?
I saw on the cue cards he was going to talk about his new book on the segment after mine, plus he's an egomaniac. Plus I finessed him into telling me it was something I could hold in my hand.
And if you were wrong?
That's why they invented color television, to show my red face. Allison, I'm not an invalid.
You have enough stress in your work. I want you around for a long time.
You're spoiling me.
That's what I'm here for. Anyway, I married you for your money. I might as well earn it.
Subtract 2. Next, add 3. Finally, subtract your original number. Got it? Now, the number you are thinking of, and this is an extraordinary coincidence, because you've all come up with the same 2-digit number, is 11. You've done it again, George. These contracts are totally incomprehensible. What do I do?
You sign them.
Committing myself to...
3 books over a period of the next 3 years, and for that, you get an advance of $300,000.
Give me a pen before they change their mind.
George, you may be a good lawyer, but you're a bad influence on my husband.
Oh?
You should be circulating.
All right, all right. Tell them the live version will be out in a minute. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Let's have a drink on it. What'll you have?
Arthur, why don't you read my mind?
Oh, you two. Conspiracy. All right. You usually drink brandy, but I get the impression of scotch on the rocks. Are you amazed?
Not really. Especially since we had dinner last week, and I told you that I'd switched to scotch.
George, I'm hurt. Are you telling me you doubt my powers?
I don't doubt your earning powers. Allison tells me that your book's solid with concerts, private parties.
It's called synergy. The concerts feed the books feed the television appearances.
Why now, Arthur? After all these years, you've never been that,
Marketable, interesting, isn't it? The age of the cordless electric peppermill, and people still want miracles.
Ah, so that's what you're in. The miracle business.
No, I dressed it up with a lot of fancy words like telepathy, precognition, ESP. But it's still the same old shell game. Everyone suspects I'm a fraud, of course, but they're not quite sure. That's what fascinates them. The thought that I just might be legitimate.
That must put you under a lot of pressure.
Some. None that I can't handle.
How you feeling?
George, I appreciate the concern, but you're getting as bad as Allison. My coronary was 2 years ago. That's ancient history. I have a very expensive little box in my chest that doesn't miss a beat. I jog, I make love, and I can still swamp you at tennis. Okay?
I'll drink to that.
All right, let's go see if I'm a hit in the living room.
I suppose I shouldn't have scheduled a party the first night you got back. But it was fun, wasn't it? Are you exhausted? Arthur? Arthur?
I can't find my robe.
Isn't it in the closet?
It's not where I usually... Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Where did these come from? I found them in my pocket.
You caught me.
What?
They're mine. I started again. I've been sneaking behind your back. I know. No willpower. Look, throw them away. It's the last time, I promise.
Wait a minute. What were your cigarettes doing in my pocket?
You're going to think I'm silly. You won't laugh?
Depends.
I missed you last night, so I wore your robe to bed. I guess I just wanted something of you close to me.
last week. Our daughter-in-law, Nancy, had us over for spaghetti dinner. Well, it was not bad. Even my husband, Angelo, liked it. Then I found out it was ragu spaghetti sauce from a jar. Well, before I could say anything, Nancy told me it's made from the same things I put in my own sauce, like ripe tomatoes, Romano cheese, spices, herbs. This week I made ragu sauce, and it's better than Nancy's, huh?
Ragu spaghetti sauce. That's Italian.
Sir, isn't that a Volkswagen Rabbit?
Sure is.
But the roads aren't even plowed.
You're telling me?
That Rabbit sure goes through snow. And you're not even using snow tires.
That's right. Got front-wheel drive.
So you're the man who drives the snow plow. How long you been doing that?
How long have there been Volkswagens?
Volkswagen does it again.
Anywhere you need a light stick, a bright stick.
Only from GE.
Like over a workbench.
Under a cabinet.
In an attic.
GE's Bright Stick is the lightweight, plug-in fluorescent that comes complete.
And installs in minutes. Almost anywhere you have a dark spot.
Like in a sewing room.
Over a desk.
A laundry room. Anywhere you need a light
stick, a bright stick.
Only from GE.
You said that.
At General Electric, we never stop inventing the light bulb.
It takes the average wheat farmer over 50 days and 14 tons of machinery just to plant his seeds in the ground. Now Phillips Petroleum has helped develop a better way, a system that plows, fertilizes, and plants in a single step. It can lighten a farmer's workload and cut his fuel use in half, conserving energy for all of us while we make fine products for your car. That's performance from Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
We now return to Murder by Natural Causes, starring Hal Holbrook and Katharine Ross.
Do I really need that?
No. It's just a sedative. It's been a difficult day for you. With a good night's rest, you'll feel like a new lady. Now, if you need me, tomorrow I'll be in my office, okay?
Doctor?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it strange how the mind works? I've been thinking about your wife lately. About how she died.
Well, you know how she died. She passed away in her sleep. Now, you get some rest, okay? Damn it, how the hell am I supposed to get out of here? Through the window?
You calm down, Gil. It's just a little warp. We'll fix it.
That's what you said yesterday.
Benny, sand that down or something, please.
How you do it before Christmas, Benny?
Hey, now look. We open in a few hours, and we're all a little nervous.
Why the hell should you be nervous? You're not going to be up here tonight with egg on your face.
Gil, what's bugging you?
Nothing. Let's just take a break, okay?
I've got fact sheets and breakdowns on most of the guests, along with their birth dates if you need them. Plus a couple of license plate numbers, makes of cars, home addresses, you know, the usual. Plus some specifics you might want to use. Like there's this Mrs. Carrington. She's having a gazebo built in back of her house. The contractor's name is Schofield.
All right, go on.
Now, here's a goodie. The lady's name is Stark, and she's got this mutt, what do you call him? Lassa
Opso.
Right.
Close, though.
Thank you. Anyway, his name is Toby, and she took him to the vet last week. It seems he's got an allergy.
Oh.
You could have a lot of fun with that, huh?
What's he allergic to?
I don't know.
Oh, Eddie, get it for me. Oh, that's too good to miss.
Sure.
Now, husband's occupation, children's name.
Oh, right here. Checked everybody on the guest list.
Discreetly, of course.
Hey, Mr. Sinclair, you know me. I'm the invisible man.
Telephone, senora.
Why don't you take it here, Eddie? Plug the phone in over there.
I don't want to bother you. Bring you something cold, Eddie?
I'd sure appreciate it, ma'am.
Now, Mrs. Carrington.
Yes. What else do we know about
Marta, would you see if the mail has come? Yes.
what kind of... One of her husbands was an actor. Thanks. Anyway, his name is...
Hello?
It's me. Can you talk?
For a moment. Arthur's out by the pool with his private detective.
We're taking an early dinner break. Come by the theater at 5.
Why?
I'll meet you in front.
Eddie.
How's that for timing?
Let's get a cup of coffee, okay?
Fine, hop in.
There's a place across the street.
Wouldn't do for your friends to see us together, would it? Very talkative, are you?
Saving it. I'm always like this on opening night. This play, it's not much. It's just a showcase, but if I'm lucky, it could, well, it could open things up for me. Not just commercials, but guest shots and, well, maybe a series. Yeah, that means money. You know what I'm trying to say? She's not buying it.
Gil, you're a very creative man. But in order for you to get up in the morning, you have to convince yourself that the next phone call, the next job, or the next showcase is going to change your life. It may be necessary, but it's delusional.
What's that, a vote of confidence?
I want you to succeed. You will. And maybe this play is it. But if it isn't, how long am I supposed to wait?
I went by your house last night. Relax, nobody saw me. I just wanted to have a good look at him.
And?
I can do a lot of things. And I'm not sure that I can kill somebody.
You already have.
What the hell are you talking about?
The play. Didn't you tell me your character murders his wife?
That's a performance, Allison. Don't you...
All I'm asking for is a performance. The only difference is there'll be an audience of one. Are you saying no?
I just think that we should wait a while. I mean, why rush it? I'm sorry.
So am I.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Allison.
I'm getting the initials H.C. Is there a Mrs. Helen... No. Harriet Carrington here today, please. Mrs. Carrington.
Yes?
Concentrate, please. You're married. This is terribly embarrassing. I get the impression of another man in your life.
You do?
Yes. Yes, perhaps we shouldn't continue. No, wait. You have been spending a great deal of time with him, but I sense it's perfectly innocent. His name starts with an S. Schofield?
Yes. He's my...
Your contractor.
That's right.
Yes. As a matter of fact, he's building something in your yard. A pool? No. It's some kind of wooden structure. Would it be a gazebo?
Yes.
Thank you.
He's incredible. I'm so glad he could come.
I'm sure he's enjoying it.
You must have a great deal of courage, my dear. I certainly wouldn't marry a mind reader. How could one possibly keep any secrets?
Someone is thinking of the name Toby. Is it a child? No. I get the impression of a very wet nose. Mrs. Stark. Mrs. Leonard Stark? Would you mind standing, please, Mrs. Stark? Since I assume your husband doesn't have a wet nose, you must be thinking of either your dog or your cat. Send me a mental image, please.
Excuse me. Do they get the afternoon paper here?
Yes, ma'am. It's delivered.
May I see it, please?
It's in the kitchen. I'll get it for you.
Toby is at the veterinarian, is he not? Suffering from an allergy? Now, concentrate, Mrs. Stark, on the cause of that allergy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is a problem. Ladies, but Toby is allergic to Mr. Stark. Thank you very much. I understand that tea and cookies are next on the agenda, and after that, you'll all be asked to contribute to a very worthy cause. Thank you.
Oh, wasn't it marvelous?
What a wonderful time here. Get me out of here.
Mind if I drop you off?
Why don't we have lunch?
Oh, I'd love to. But Marion called. She has a new artist, and she wants me to see his work before the opening. Rain check.
Well, I'll come with you.
Arthur. He's into mud pies and earth sculpture.
Oh, by all means, drop me out.
You're not answering your phone.
Would you?
I'm sorry. I really am.
There may be such a thing as gifted amateurs, but they were not on display last night at the Workshop Theater, nor was the audience. At the end of the first act, they began to leave like rats deserting a sinking script. Not ship script. You get it? That's clever. That's clever.
I read it.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, did you read this one here? The plan is... And Gilbert Weston, as the murderous doctor, is physically commanding, but lacks the technique and suavity to carry an entire evening. We closed last night. You know, you're right. What did you say yesterday, that I was delusional?
I didn't mean that.
No?
I've been thinking. Maybe we should leave things just like they are.
What, back to square one?
It's what you want, isn't it? It's nice, and it's safe,
Nice. Safe. So, if he doesn't get suspicious and if you don't run out of excuses, we can sneak in a few hours, what, twice a week? And every once in a while I can take you out to dinner. Mexican, naturally, because it's cheap. And, nobody you know will see us together. I'm sorry. We've been there.
I don't think I'm following you.
Oh, come on. Come on. You're following me very well. You know why you came here today. You wanted to know whether I've changed my mind.
That's not...
Yes, it is. It's all right. Because I have. Why not? No more delusions. You see, it makes for a great third act. The guy not only gets the girl, but he also gets rich.
You're sure?
What time do you have to be home?
I'm flexible.
And the gun?
You know that oriental cabinet in the living room? I'll put it in the left-hand drawer.
I get there at 8 o'clock, right?
A little before. I'll leave the door unlocked when I leave.
Wouldn't it be simpler if I just rang the bell?
But not as effective. We want to keep him off balance. Anything else?
Just one more minor detail. What do we do if it doesn't work?
We have a contingency.
My resurrection?
If it's necessary.
Huh.
And remember the timing. I'll be back at 9:30.
Yeah.
Second thoughts?
I was just wondering.
About what?
A year from now? Beautiful widow, beautiful estate. What's to keep you from cutting me loose?
Among other things, you know too much.
Well, maybe, but I certainly can't use what I know. I'd put myself in jail.
Then you'll have to trust me, won't you?
How are you loading the gun?
1 blank, 5 live rounds.
Like in the chamber?
Of course. Is there a problem with that?
No. Not unless you forget.
Why should I forget?
Well, you might be tempted to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Look, if you don't trust me...
Honey, I trust you. I trust you. I mean, it's like you said, I have to, right? Especially when the gun goes off.
Maybe we should forget the whole thing.
Just testing. Monday night, your house. Curtain goes up at 8.
Things with Dave have gone downhill. So here's the new me, the Annie Hall look, $100.
Great. Now try close-up.
That's just toothpaste. Maybe I should go soft and sexy.
Sue, put your money where your mouth is. Whiter teeth and fresh breath will get Dave back.
Looks like mouthwash.
There's mouthwash in close-up for your breath.
Will it whiten my teeth?
Makes mine their whitest.
Hi.
Oh, how's it going with Dave?
Up and away.
Put your money where your mouth is. Buy Close-Up. Remember this, a Rhine wine by any other name is not the same. Next time you wonder what white wine to drink, think of Gallo Rhine.
There's something about a Kenmore, something about a Kenmore.
There's something special about these large-capacity Kenmore machines.
During Sears washer dryer sale, save $40 on this Kenmore washer with dual action agitator and 5 cycles, including permanent press, knit, and delicate. Save $20 on this Kenmore dryer with touch-up cycle and wrinkle guard to help prevent wrinkles from setting in. Save $40 on the washer, $20 on the dryer. Sale ends February 24th. Kenmore. Solid as Sears.
You like fried chicken? Watch this. You just bought that in there, right?
Yes, I did.
Would you mind trying another fried chicken?
Very good.
What do you like about it?
Flavor, the crust. It's moist.
This is how much you'd pay for it.
That's even better.
Well, sure, because this is Banquet frozen fried chicken. You just take it out of your freezer. Would you believe that Banquet chicken would be this good if you hadn't tried it yourself?
No, I would not.
We will return to the television premiere of Murder by Natural Causes.
Only 2 things in the world I'm scared of. What's that? Women and the police.
Burt Reynolds takes on the law of Bogan County.
No sheriff is gonna kill any brother of mine. I'm gonna get mean, Harvey.
Burt Reynolds as a booze-running, motor-gunning bolt of white lightning on the CBS Tuesday Night Movies at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS. When looking for furniture, 2 things are most important: the quality and the price. At Aaron Sells, you're going to find the best of both: high quality and low price on a wide selection of rental return and new furniture in many styles, colors, and fabrics. Sofas start under $99, chairs for $39, 5-piece dinettes from $49, and 4-drawer chests at $27. Quality, price? You'll find both of these at Aaron Sells. Make it a point to stop by Aaron Sells today, where you save because we rented it first.
Introducing the new St. Regis by Dodge, a full-size car with value you can measure. For instance, St. Regis has more interior room than Chevy Caprice, a larger trunk, longer wheelbase, yet our 6-cylinder gets better mileage. One more important measure of value: for all its superiority, St. Regis actually costs slightly less than a comparably equipped full-size Chevy Caprice. The new St. Regis by Dodge, full-size value you can measure.
TV5 Atlanta.
We now return to Murder by Natural Causes, starring Katharine Ross and Hal Holbrook.
Arthur, will you stop pointing that thing at me, please?
What's the matter, George? Don't you like my new toy?
All you're doing is wasting film.
Hey, I can always erase it.
Allison, do something. Pull the plug on that thing, will you?
Join the club, George. At least you're dressed.
Oh?
Yes, I trapped her in the bathtub this afternoon. X-rated home movies.
What do you use that thing for, anyway?
Oh, rehearsals mostly. I can tape myself before a performance and iron out the bugs. Better yet, it's deductible. You ready for your screen test?
Yes. Arthur, will you stop pointing that thing at me, please?
Don't you like my new toy?
Well, all you're doing is wasting film.
Hey.
Better than my passport picture. Allison, do something. Pull the plug.
Arthur, I'm sure George has better things to do tonight. Why don't you sign his papers and let the poor man go home?
Open your briefcase, counselor. What am I giving away this time?
The operative word is shelter. Allison, you've got to sign these too, you know. You're the vice president.
Be right back. The vice president has to check on the president's dinner.
Now, there's paragraph 4, 5, and 6. I'd like you to pay particular attention.
Maybe I shouldn't mention this. I saw Louise yesterday.
Oh, that's all right. We're talking again, sometimes without her lawyers in the room.
Any chance of a reconciliation?
No, I doubt it. She left me the house and took everything else. No reason for her to come back.
We're sorry, George.
That's the way it is, Arthur. It happens to the best of us. You just hang on to Allison. She's a great lady.
George, may I sign those later? I'm running late.
Of course. Just drop them in the mail, huh?
Allison has an assignation.
Oh? Yeah, Yeah, she's meeting with some people about opening a gallery. I'm not invited. I just pay for it. George, what are you doing tonight?
Nothing special.
Have dinner with me. Allison has a casserole warming up.
Arthur, there really isn't enough for two. And I gave Marta the night off.
You what?
Her sister's ill. I didn't think you'd mind.
Thank you for the invitation, but this has been one of those days. All I want to do is get home and take my tie off.
We'll make it some other time.
I look forward to it. Have a nice evening.
Not very gracious of you. Just got divorced. He could use some company.
And you'll use any excuse not to get some work done.
Am I that obvious?
Sooner or later, you have to get it done. Didn't you tell me you were behind schedule?
No, they give me a new editor, Mrs. Prescott. She has a large wart on her nose, and she won't listen to any of my alibis. She wants the first chapter by next week.
Just what you need. Maybe tonight you'll get some work done for a change.
It's going to be a long night.
Do you know where I put that PBS tape?
I'm sure it's with the others. Are you using it for your book?
If I can find them. Wait a minute, here it is.
I have to go. It's almost 8 o'clock.
Oh, well, how long will you be?
A few hours. See you later.
Uh-huh.
Somebody doesn't have a tummy bulge anymore. Because under all her dresses, under all her clingy knits, under all her slightly tight pants, somebody's wearing slenderalls. Slenderalls are pantyhose with smooth control panties knit right in. So you don't have a lump or bump or tummy bulge to show through your clothes. Oh, somebody loves her slenderalls because they make her look thinner.
Slenderalls are invisible with support legs, too.
I'm Rula Lenska. As an actress, I always have to look my best. So I'm glad that I found a truly great hairspray from America. It's called Alberto VO5. It holds an incredible 14 hours without stiffness or stickiness, so I can breeze through a busy day without worrying about my hair.
Win $25,000 in Tiffany money in Alberto Culver's Silver Anniversary Sweepstakes. Complete rules and free entry blanks at participating stores.
Up the back
back of my neck, and then it just comes across my whole head.
Winnie DeLong has a headache.
The headache is a barrier between me and my job.
Will you try extra-strength Tylenol?
I'd like to give it a try.
Compare regular aspirin, the leading extra ingredient pain reliever, and extra strength Tylenol. Extra strength Tylenol has more medicine.
My headache is gone. Extra strength Tylenol works. I feel kind of dumb that I hadn't tried it before.
Extra strength Tylenol. They're aspirin free, and you can't buy a more potent pain reliever without a prescription.
Guilty. Not guilty. 6 votes guilty, 6 votes not guilty.
Father, Ken.
Could go on all day. Bailiff! Pass out the Right Guard deodorant.
Good.
We got stick or spray. With Right Guard, stick or spray protects all day. They don't just cover up odor, they help stop odor before it starts. All day. 6 took stick, 6 took spray. It's unanimous.
Right Guard deodorant. Don't get dressed without it.
We will return to the television premiere of Murder by Natural Causes.
An innocent man is suddenly caught in a nightmare he cannot understand and may not survive.
Is it safe?
No, it's not safe.
A devastating thriller starring Dustin Hoffman, Laurence Olivier, Roy Scheider, and Marta Keller. A television premiere. Marathon Man. He's running for his life. The CBS Sunday Night Movies special at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Tomorrow on CBS.
Now, Estee Lauder and today's technology bring you Swiss Performing Extract. It is more than just a moisturizer. It is a super nourishing lotion that performs 24 hours a day. Use it and dryness will begin to disappear instantly. Tiny wrinkle lines will become less noticeable instantly. Estee Lauder's Swiss Performing Extract. You don't have to wait to see the difference.
Estee Lauder's Swiss Performing Extract, now in the world of beauty at all Rich's stores.
News break, brought to you by Century 21 Real Estate. We're your neighborhood professionals.
Good evening. There's a winter storm warning in effect for the northern half of Georgia tonight. Snow or sleet possible. 2 DeKalb County police officers were stabbed this evening. The alleged perpetrator was killed by one of those officers. And a train-car collision today in Gwinnett County left 2 people dead. That accident happened on Georgia Highway 23 and Amwilder Road in Beaufort, Georgia.
At Century 21.
We're professional, Daddy.
We're the neighborhood professionals for you.
I'm Ken Roberts, the full story at 11 right here on TV5 News Scene.
TV5 Atlanta.
We now return to Murder by Natural Causes, starring Katharine Ross and Richard Anderson.
A good many years ago, Houdini, the world's greatest escape artist, and Dunninger, the world's greatest mentalist, had dinner together in a restaurant, and then afterwards they went back to Dunninger's car. Do you know what happened? Dunninger couldn't remember where he'd left the key, and Houdini couldn't pick the lock. I try to remember that whenever I begin to think I'm infallible. To put it charitably, invading someone's thoughts is an inexact science. But there's no doubt that mental telepathy exists. Ask anyone who's been married for more than 6 months. I think the best example of mind reading in this technological age, Allison, is what goes through a woman's head when she sees a spot of lipstick on her husband's collar. Who's there? Now, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake. Who the hell are you?
Mr. Sinclair?
What are you doing in my house?
I'm Gil Weston, sir, San Diego Dispatch. I rang the bell, but didn't your wife tell you?
The example may seem whimsical. Tell me what?
Oh, hey, I'm sorry, sir. I thought you were expecting me.
The matter of receiving...
We did have an appointment at 8 o'clock.
One of us is very confused. You say you had an appointment?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, I called your wife up last week, and she said tonight would be a good time to come by.
Come by for what?
An interview. Well, you are doing a concert in San Diego on the 15th, right?
Yes.
Well, my paper would like an interview for their Sunday magazine section. If it's inconvenient, sir, I can...
No, that's fine. How'd you get in?
The door was open.
That's impossible.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but it was. I rang the bell, but no one answered, and I heard your voice, and I didn't realize it was a television set, and maybe I should just go out and come back in again.
No. It's my wife's fault. She never mentioned it. What paper did you say you were with?
The San Diego Dispatch. But I'm just a stringer there. I do freelance work here in L.A.
You seem familiar. Have we ever met?
A lot of people think that. Caroline, are you trying to tell me that this is instant coffee?
What?
The commercial. Huh? Oh, you know, that's me. I'm the husband at the breakfast table.
Well, you do commercial.
When I can get them, keeps me out of the unemployment line.
An actor and a reporter. Unusual combination.
Just your average Renaissance man. So, hey, you, why ain't I rich, huh?
Well, I'm sure you will be.
Yes, sir. I'm counting on it.
Well, all right, now that you're here, I can give you half an hour. How do you want to do this?
No special way. Maybe I'll just ask you a few questions. I'm sure that people are very interested to find out how you first discovered these powers of yours. Now, you were originally a nightclub magician, am I right?
Yes, in my distant youth, I had a mind-reading act with a young lady.
Oh, what did you have, some kind of code?
Trade secret. No, anyway, one night I was reading the paper after the show. There were a series of stranglings in St. Louis. For some strange reason, I envisioned a left-handed man, someone who worked with animals. It was a very powerful mental image. Well, I called the St. Louis police and told them about it. They thought it was a publicity stunt. And 4 weeks later, they found the strangler.
Left-handed?
Left-handed. He was a maintenance man at the zoo.
That's unbelievable. I bet you were surprised.
Anyway, that was the beginning. My bogus mind-reading act had become the real thing.
What happened to the young lady?
Long gone. Last I heard, she had 6 children and was married to a used car dealer.
How long have you been married, sir?
5 years. Why?
Oh, no reason. Your wife just sounded very nice on the phone.
Nice? Yes, but apparently forgetful. And so am I. I hadn't offered you a drink. What do you have? And don't ask me to read your mind.
No. Okay, a beer would be great, sir.
Fire away.
What?
Your next question.
Oh, thank you. That St. Louis case is very interesting. Did the cops give you credit for the arrest?
No, afraid not. Something funny?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking that if I was a murderer, I certainly wouldn't want you around. Let's go. Go.
Yes? I'm Allison Sinclair. I'd like to see Mr. Brubaker.
Well, is he expecting you?
No, but I have to see him.
Allison?
Please tell him it's urgent.
Allison, what a pleasant surprise. Come in.
I'm sorry to bother you, George, but it's an emergency.
An emergency? Is it about Arthur?
It's both of us. Maybe I'm being foolish.
Well, I want to hear all about it. Let's get you a drink first. What would you like?
Just coffee, please, Black.
Mrs. Matthews, would you please serve us some coffee in the living room?
Yes, sir.
This way.
How was I?
Perfect. Although Mrs. Matthews is easy to convince, she tends to trust people.
How nice for us. It's a shame we can't put this time to better use.
Patience.
Not one of my virtues.
I think we can wait 24 more hours. I saw your friend's car. He's very punctual.
And motivated.
Of that I have no doubt.
Well, you might say I've descended from a long line of alchemists, high priests, soothsayers, shamans, witch doctors, clairvoyants. Aren't you taking notes?
No, I have a good memory, sir.
Anyway, every culture since the dawn of time has felt the need for...
Fakes?
Are you calling me a fake, young man?
No, sir, no. No, I understand that your act is very good.
But you assume it's only an act.
Well, I keep coming back to this case that you solved for the St. Louis Police Department.
Yes, you seem fixated on it.
Yeah, I guess I am. I mean, it's one thing to read minds from a stage or from a television show. You can always hire somebody to check out the audience, right? But, find out their names, their backgrounds, what they had for breakfast. Strangler thing. It's almost too good to be true.
Well, happily, it's documented. It made all the papers.
Yeah, for sure. Trouble is, most of the reporters didn't verify their story. So when I got this assignment, I called the St. Louis Police Department. Funny thing is, they don't remember you being involved.
You must have talked to the wrong person.
Yeah, probably. Although the guy did say he was the head of the investigation.
How much longer is this interview?
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Well, let's make it brief. I have work to do.
Yes, sir. Great house.
Thank you.
It's a terrific pool. Too bad you can't use it.
Why do you say that?
Your heart.
What about my heart?
Oh, hey, I thought...
I have a pacemaker. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, oh, yes, sir. I wasn't sure that you wanted to talk about it.
It's not a social disease. I don't keep it a secret.
I'll slow you down a bit, though, huh?
Not at all.
Come on, Mr. Sinclair. I had a friend once who had a heart attack. Can't even walk his dog.
Well, perhaps I'm more fortunate than your friend.
You say so.
You're quite a skeptic, aren't you?
Oh, hey, I'm sorry I even brought it up. I mean, if you're worried about it, I won't even mention it.
Look, either I'm not communicating clearly or you're not listening. A weak heart doesn't have to be a disability. I can function as well as you.
You say so?
You don't believe me?
Well, maybe as well as most people, but I'm pretty athletic and I'm younger than you. No offense.
Hold this. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Satisfied?
Yeah, that's great. Maybe you should stop now, sir. That's plenty now. You don't want to hurt yourself.
I haven't even started. How many is that?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been counting.
How many do you do?
50. 60, but I'm in good condition, sir.
So am I. You still think I'm ready for a wheelchair?
No, sir. You're making me a believer. Mr. Sinclair?
Can't get my breath.
Don't talk. You just relax. Do you want a drink of water or something?
I have a towel over there.
Well, maybe you should sit down.
Oh, feels like a brass band. Stupid thing for me to do, wasn't it? But then that's my line of work, accepting challenges.
Oh, did I challenge you?
Didn't you? Oh, maybe not. Let's go inside. I could use some brandy. You know, if I could read minds, if I wasn't a fake, as you seem to think, I'd say you never really called to St. Louis, please.
Well, I just wanted to see how you'd react.
Turning into a very interesting interview.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline. Be a friend, won't you? Get comfortable. And get ready for something you'll like. This is the perfect moment for Martini and Rossi Red on the rocks. Here, try it. I knew you'd like it. Yes, it's a wine, but with a taste all its own. Perfect for parties or times like this.
To Martini and Rossi on the rocks, say yes.
Say yes.
Whoa, Susan, don't waste time just damp mopping. Just damp mopping, Mom? Here, pour some Future in the bucket and refresh the shine at the same time. But we've always used Future straight from the bottle. We still do, but watch. Future works with water, too. As you damp mop, it refreshes the shine with no added work. Dries fast as water, too. Wow, it really perks up the shine. It does.
Use Future both ways. Get a tougher-than-wax shine and refresh that shine whenever you damp mop.
Yes?
Mr. Higgins, I'd like some Campbell's chunky beef soup.
Yes, ma'am.
But a whole can's really too big for just little old me.
Well, I'll tell you.
I do love all those chunks of beef.
Yes.
All those chunks of potatoes, chunks of carrots.
Well, Mrs. Whitley.
So I was wondering, could you sell me half a can?
Sure.
You can?
Single serving chunky. It's just enough for one.
Single serving chunky. It's just enough for one.
Maybe tomorrow I'll get half a can of chunky chicken.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places.
Mr. Carlin, your briefcase.
Our people-pleasing places.
Holiday Inn hotels are #1 in the world with the best standards.
Everything all right, sir?
Everything's just fine.
People-pleasing standards to help make your trip successful.
Wherever you go in this whole big traveling world.
We want to make you comfortable.
Holiday Inn is #1 in people-pleasing.
We now return to Murder by Natural Causes, starring Hal Holbrook and Katharine Ross.
Nervous?
I just want it to be over. You know what I need? A cruise. A nice long cruise. To the Greek islands or the Caribbean.
Yes.
Where did you and Louise go on your honeymoon?
My apartment. I was studying for the bar.
We'll have to do better than that.
We will. After a suitable period of mourning. Almost time. Ready?
Mrs. Matthews, will you please come in here for a moment?
Don't you think I should call the police?
But you don't seem to understand, Allison. The police have no legal position unless a crime has been committed.
But he's been threatening me. He keeps calling. He insists that I see him.
Oh, Mrs. Matthews, Mrs. Sinclair has a problem. And I thought maybe she ought to spend the night with us. I wonder if you could make up the guest room, please.
Oh, yes, sir. George, I can't. Arthur's home alone.
What?
What if he comes looking for me? He might come to the house.
Are you saying that he's dangerous?
Yes.
Well, you just have to tell Arthur.
I had an affair with him. You're asking me to tell my husband about it?
But we have no choice. It's for his own protection. Mrs. Matthews, never mind about the guest room. That will be all for this evening.
Oh, I'll just get the coffee.
No, that won't be necessary. You can gather that up in the morning. That'll be all. Thank you very much and good night.
Oh, yes, sir. Good night.
Joe.
Take her to her room.
Won't she hear us leave?
It's in the back of the house. She'll be watching television.
Suppose somebody calls.
The line will be busy. Anything else?
We should go.
Wait. Let's give her some time to settle down. You've given her a lot to think over.
Do you mind driving?
Not at all.
Just don't get us a ticket.
Fairly shuffled?
It seems so.
Still a skeptic. I want you to think of a card. Change your mind as often as you like, but decide on one. And not the ace of spades. That's too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Find it in the deck and put it on the table. Face up. King of Diamonds. And that was a free choice.
Wasn't it?
Let's see.
What's this?
Just listen. Good evening, this is Arthur Sinclair, and we have just conducted an experiment in mental projection. The card you selected and removed from the deck was preordained by me. You had no other choice because I transmitted it into your mind. And that's why, of course, you picked the King of Diamonds. I couldn't send you home without a demonstration.
You actually made me think of this card.
It's a reversal of the usual process, sending instead of receiving. Another beer?
You know, sometimes I think that I can tune in on things.
Oh, you probably can.
Really?
Yes, it's not uncommon. Most people have the ability, they just don't know how to do it. Control it, you see.
Gee, it's funny you should say that, because even right now, I mean, while we're just sitting here talking, this mental picture keeps floating into my mind.
Oh, well, what do you see?
Oh, forget it. It's ridiculous.
No, tell me.
Well, for some reason, I get the feeling that there's a gun in the house. Am I right? I knew it. Isn't that strange? Let's see if I can get anything else. It's a 38. No, it's a 32. And you keep it upstairs in the dressing room.
How the hell did you know that?
I fooled you, didn't I?
What?
Oh, your wife told me. When I called the other day, we got to talking, and she mentioned that there'd been a lot of robberies in the neighborhood, and I said, well, maybe Maybe she should just go get a gun.
She told you we already had one.
She didn't seem too happy about having it in the house, though. Hey, I guess that's how you do it, isn't it? I mean, you know, read minds. You pick up these random bits of information on the sly. Oh, could I have my other beer, sir?
As long as it's one for the road, I have a great deal of work to do. What are you doing?
52 cassettes, one for every card in the deck. When you see which card I've turned over, you just come over here and you pick out the right tape.
I think you better leave.
Why? Well, you showed me your demonstration, and now we both know it was rigged. Don't I get a chance to show you what I can do?
What are you talking about?
Well, it's like you said. Most people have the power, but they just don't know how to use it. Now, you, for instance, I think that I'm beginning to learn. Upstairs in your bedroom, there's a gray and white quilt.
Oh.
And your pillowcases are monogrammed. There's a Louis XV chair, and there's a framed photograph of you.
You were in here alone tonight. You went upstairs.
A good try, you're not even close.
Then how did you know?
Got you going, don't I? Okay, all right, I'll let you in on my little secret. A couple of months ago, this house was written up in one of those decorating magazines.
And you looked at the pictures?
Mm-hmm. Simple when you know how.
Wait a minute.
You just remembered. There weren't any pictures of your bedroom in that magazine. You're right. Gosh, I guess I am a mind reader.
All right, young man. You've had your fun. Time to go.
Before I finish my demonstration.
Or would you rather I call the police?
Oh, you'll miss the best part. It's about your wife.
What about my wife?
Concentrate. Her name's Allison. She's very attractive. And you met her when she was working in an art gallery.
Not impressed. You could have read that anywhere.
Where would I have read that she has a birthmark on her lower back?
How did you find that out?
Are you sure you want me to tell you?
Yes.
Because I saw it. That's a lie. When I was making love to her on that gray and white quilt in your bedroom. With that Louis XV chair.
Who are you?
I told you, I'm your wife's lover.
That's not true.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm a wonderful lover. Much better than you, according to Allison. But I'm a terrible mind reader. I said that the gun was upstairs in your dressing room. Well, I think I was wrong. As a matter of fact, it's right here in this room. Have you ever heard of those guys out in the deserts, the ones that search for water? They have a thing called a divining rod. It's sort of like a forked stick. Nobody knows how they do it. But sooner or later, the stick points down. And sure enough, they found what they're looking for. Only I'm not looking for water, am I? Now that is truly amazing. You still don't get it, do you? And I thought you'd be picking up my vibrations. In case you haven't read my mind. I'm gonna kill you.
For always knowing that we love Jell-O pudding, here's to Mom. And for always letting us lick the spoon after she mixes it, here's to Mom. And for not getting mad at us because we wore Dad's bowling shoes into the bathtub, here's to Mom!
Kids love Jello brand pudding, and since it's probably on your shelf, why not make some tonight?
Here's to you, Mom!
You've made some new friends who live far from you, and keeping them close is so easy to do. Reach out and touch someone. Reach out, call up and just say hi. Reach out and touch someone.
Don't let those new friends get away. A telephone call now and then will bring them closer. They're waiting to hear from you. So reach out and touch someone. Give them a call.
Let me tell you about a car. An honest-to-goodness, terrific car. This Chrysler Newport. I think it's one of the best values on the market. Compared to Chevy Caprice, for instance, Newport is longer, wider, has a larger trunk, yet Newport's six-cylinder gas mileage is better. And when you get right down to it, Chrysler Newport is sticker-priced $43 less than Chevy Caprice this year, comparably equipped. Chrysler Newport. Now that's value.
I bet my mother was here today.
Your mother and my mother, and they both brought us some home-baked bread.
Love it. But, honey, this wrap's all loose.
Sure is. Well, sometimes plastic wraps cling, sometimes they don't. I rely on Reynolds wrap. It molds and closes tightly. Really protects food. And I can reheat in Reynolds wrap, too. How about that?
Nothing I like better than to come home and wrap with you.
Use Reynolds wrap, the best wrap around.
We will return to the television premiere of Murder by Natural Causes.
Monday, catch Wonder Woman on her new knife. Then, on MASH, Hawkeye puts the clamps on a war-happy colonel, and Johnny gets an offer he can't refuse on WKRP.
I'm really going to miss you, Johnny.
Next, the headline, hit-and-run killer sought.
Broke his neck, the shoulder, and arm, 6 ribs.
But it definitely was a black Cadillac. What if the city's tied into this?
The story on Lou Grant. It's a great Monday night, starting with Wonder Woman at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS. Design House, we've got it. The bedrooms, the living rooms, the dining rooms. Don't miss it. The warehouse sale this Sunday. Save 20, 40, 60%. Contemporary furniture from Denmark, from Sweden, from the USA. Design House, it's all here. The design, the quality, the craftsmanship. Wall systems, bookcases. Design House, we've got it. Stereo benches, sofas, sleepers, chairs. Design House, this Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. I-85 at Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Don't miss it.
The beautiful side of you says, enjoy today. The practical side says, save for tomorrow. Now you can do both with a Crystal Savings Account at the First National Bank of Atlanta. Deposit $50 or more and collect beautiful French lead crystals. The first pair is free. Open a Crystal Savings Account at First National today. Start a beautiful collection of French crystals and a practical collection of American money.
News Scene on 5.
We now return to Murder by Natural Causes, starring Katharine Ross.
Now, let's see. You're upstairs, and most of the lights down here are off. You hear a sound. You call out, Allison. There's no answer. Did you hear a floorboard creak? There's somebody in the living room.
Listen to
So what do? You take the gun from the dressing room, and you come down the stairs slowly. Why? Because you're frightened. And because you're feeling a little foolish. I mean, everybody hears strange sounds in the night, right? Probably just your imagination. So you come into this room, and you look around. And the guy that's here to rob you, He panics. And you say, don't run or I'll shoot. And he decides to jump you. That makes sense, doesn't it? Huh. There's going to have to be a scuffle. That's right. One scuffle coming. So the two of you fight back and forth all over the place with this gun. And then, the gun goes off. Point blank range. Must leave powder burns. Don't. Please. Oh, don't. Ah, I don't like that. I'm getting careless. It wouldn't do for our thief in the night. Be having a drink with you, wouldn't it?
What's taking him so long?
I don't know.
Should I go in?
No, not yet.
Look, I can get you money. Anything you want.
Oh, it's not what I want. It's what Allison wants. Insatiable lady, your wife.
You'll never get away with it. They'll find out.
Oh, I don't think so. Simple breaking and entering, it happens every day. All I have to do is jimmy the lock when I leave. Well, let's not drag this thing out, okay? Please. Did I touch those tapes? I have to wipe them.
Tried to kill me.
Oh, my God.
You know him, don't you?
Yes.
He said the two of you were lovers.
Arthur, I haven't seen him for months.
You're lying. You wanted him to murder me.
What?
You left the door unlocked. You brought the gun downstairs.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, we were lovers, but I told him I never wanted to see him again. Is he dead?
I don't know. Who are you calling?
The police.
Are you out of your mind?
Arthur, we have to report it.
Don't you understand? I shot him.
I know you shot him. It was self-defense, wasn't it?
That's not the point.
Arthur. Arthur, what's wrong? Arthur. I'll get your medicine. Get your medicine.
good show. My compliments. The hand on the shoulder was a marvelous touch.
What?
But then, I thought I was rather convincing myself. Unless you think all that lurching about was overdone. I'll tell you one thing. Dying is hard on the throat.
You knew?
Well, of course I knew, but that doesn't detract from your performance. I'd give up those coffee commercials if I were you and concentrate on bigger things. Take my word for it, those reviews of your play were unfair. Anytime you need a testimonial...
Shut up!
Watch your manners, Mr. Weston. You're in a great deal of trouble. Come in, darling. Come in. I see you forgot my medicine. Oh, well, that's all right. I've made a miraculous recovery.
How?
What difference does it make? He knows.
You must have given it away.
He knew before I even got here.
Well, now, don't be critical, Allison. You'll shatter his romantic illusions. And he followed your game plan perfectly. Although she should have told you, I do 100 push-ups every day. I'm afraid I disappointed you when I didn't drop dead by the pool.
Now, you're enjoying this, aren't you?
Oh, immensely. Oh, you would have been proud of him. He was brilliant. Except when he let me take the gun. That needs some restaging. But it was necessary, wasn't it? I was supposed to think I shot you, and if that didn't do me in, there was always your return from the grave. And what were you going to do after I expired? Call the paramedics and weep over my unexpected coronary?
Something like that.
You'd send him home first, of course, and then you'd clean up this mess. Really, Allison, I'm impressed. Very ingenious.
How did you find out?
You ignored the first rule of infidelity, darling. Never cheat on a man who employs a private detective.
Eddie.
Told me about you months ago.
But you never mentioned it.
Well, I was much too fascinated by your, what shall I call it, curious behavior. The sudden interest in my health, the questions about our stock holdings, the tearful requests for a gun because of all the robberies in the neighborhood. That's when I started listening in on your phone calls.
Then you knew it was going to be tonight.
Well, I had a reasonable assumption, particularly when the gun moved itself downstairs and Martha acquired a sick sister. Then there was your last-minute business appointment.
Why are we standing around here listening to this?
Good question. I don't even know why you're here. So why don't you get the hell out of my house before I call the police and have you charged with attempted murder?
You better go.
I'm not leaving you here alone with him.
She'll manage.
You know, it could still work. Not the heart attack part, but the breaking and entering.
I wondered when you'd think of that.
I couldn't wait.
Not very adept when you're doing your own planning, are you? Tell the man no, Allison, and tell him why.
Gil, if we do anything now, I don't have an alibi.
That's one reason. Here's another. Read it. Out loud. Your partner in crime might be interested.
To the authorities. If anything happens to me, including my death by natural causes, it will be as a result of a plot between my wife and her loved ones.
You'll notice that's a carbon copy. The original is with my publisher, to be opened and read if I'm not alive and kicking tomorrow morning.
What do we do?
If I were you, I'd beat a hasty retreat. Unless you want me to make a call.
Come with me.
No. Look, I'll be all right. You go on home. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Now what?
Interesting question. Not a very typical situation, is it? Do we kiss and make up? Do we fight? Or do you tell me how sorry you are?
Why did you let us go through with it?
It all comes down to money, darling, and leverage. I want to be rid of you just as much as you want to be rid of me, but I don't want to pay for the privilege. Beginning to make sense?
I think so.
You'll get your divorce. But you'll waive all rights to alimony, community property, or any kind of settlement. No house, no car, not a penny. You'll leave this marriage the same way you came in.
I don't think I like those conditions.
But we both know you'll accept them.
What about this?
Oh, don't worry about that. Just a small precaution in case your friend got carried away.
It's not at your publisher's.
Hardly. That would be embarrassing for both of us. I destroyed the original. He wouldn't be stupid enough to come back here, would he? George.
Sorry to bother you, Arthur. May I come in?
Why, of course, of course.
This won't take long. I know you're working.
Well, actually, I'm glad you came by. You have an impeccable sense of timing. It's always nice to have a witness. George is wondering what happened here, darling. Do you want to tell him, or shall I? Allison tried to have me killed tonight. Didn't you hear me? I said...
I heard you, Arthur. What went wrong?
He was expecting it.
Impossible.
He found out about Gil months ago. Tonight was a setup.
What are you two talking about?
Did he call the police?
No.
Well, no harm done. Arthur, I was hoping the other way would work. I really was. You know, there's only one trouble with trying to induce a heart attack. It's not very dependable.
You know about that?
Yes. And it would have been much cleaner. No gun, no bullet. Just death by cardiac arrest.
Then... you too... all along. What are you doing?
Alternatives, Arthur. Alternatives. The heart attack approach was a long shot. If it would have worked, fine. But we didn't depend upon it. Naturally, we have a fallback position.
I'll be in the car.
What?
Something we have to burn.
Allison?
Arthur? I was hoping it wouldn't be this way. I know you don't believe that, but it's true.
It won't work. Well, that young man, Weston, he'll go to the police.
On the contrary, the police will come to him. His fingerprints are on this gun. And you and I both know that he can't account for his whereabouts tonight.
Well, he'll tell him about Allison.
What? That wild and ridiculous story about a conspiracy to frighten you to death? Who's going to believe him?
They'll check.
Of course they will. And she'll have a perfect alibi. She's at my house right now, confiding in me about her unstable and jealous lover and how I advise her to come here and warn you. But of course, she'll be too late.
George.
Now we got real panties in our pantyhose. It's sheer indulgence. The real pantyhose with cool, comfortable cotton, not just in one spot, but inside the whole panty.
Now we've got real panties in our pantyhose. It's sheer indulgence.
When you have some last-minute figuring to do, you don't want dead batteries. Make sure you have Duracell.
Tests prove that after just a few hours, regular carbon batteries wear out. But depending on the calculator, you can get up to 4 times more use from Duracell, because Duracell batteries last longer.
That's important whenever you need your calculator.
Duracell. The copper top battery. No regular battery looks like it.
Or lasts like it.
Welcome to the cold and flu season. You felt a cold or flu coming on this morning. Now you're really achy and feverish. Take Bayer aspirin. For aches and fever, what's in Bayer is what doctors recommend most. 100% pure aspirin, nothing more. That's what's in Bayer aspirin. And millions have used Bayer with no stomach upset. So remember, rest, fluids, and Bayer aspirin. For aches and fever, what's in Bayer is what doctors recommend most.
Say, Peter Marshall, a glass of orange juice now?
Orange juice tastes great, now or anytime. It isn't just for breakfast anymore.
Good shot, Nancy Lopez, but a break from practice with orange juice?
Sure, it's refreshing anywhere. It really isn't just for breakfast anymore. Besides, orange juice from Florida is good for you. It's 100% orange juice.
You like studying with cookies and orange juice?
No, I just like the cookies and orange juice.
Orange juice from Florida. It isn't just for breakfast anymore.
You ought to be leaving soon. It's getting late.
No answer.
Why isn't he home?
I don't know. He might have gone out for a drink. If people see him.
It doesn't matter, as long as he's not covered at the time of death.
Yeah, hello.
He's there? Good. Very good. He's going to have some visitors tomorrow morning. I'd hate to be his lawyer.
What time is it?
11:30. She ought to be asleep by now.
Mrs. Matthews? Mrs. Matthews, are you awake?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but Mrs. Sinclair's about to leave, and she can't seem to find her purse. Did you happen to see it anywhere?
Well, no, I don't think so. Maybe she left it in her car.
Well, we checked that, but she's certain she brought it in the house.
George, it's all right. I found it.
False alarm. I'm sorry. See you in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Did she notice the time?
Probably. If not, she'll assume you've been here all evening.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Or maybe later. Tell the police that you want me to come over.
They may wonder why I'm asking for a lawyer.
Well, I'm an old friend of the family. It's only proper that I be there. Let me see if there's anything else. Will you be all right?
You mean, can I go through with it? Yes.
Good luck.
illusions in the world of magic, there's one in particular that no magician could ever perform: returning from the dead. Many tried, none succeeded. Endless attempts to cheat mortality, and all of them failures. Perhaps the most notable example is the case of the great Houdini, who promised his wife he would come back to her from the other side. Every year, on the anniversary of his death, she tried to contact his departed spirit. But she waited for him in vain. Of course, this feat has been accomplished by several non-professionals, including Lazarus. But they had the advantage of divine intervention. As a mentalist, this is not my area of expertise, but I do make predictions. And I have a strong feeling that someone will return from the dead in the very near future. Perhaps even tonight. Hello, Allison. I've been rehearsing a new lecture. Do you like it?
He killed you.
Not quite. He shot me. There's a difference. All blanks. You put in 1 for Mr. Weston. I put in 5 more.
You knew.
Another lesson in infidelity, darling. If a private detective can find out about lover A, he can also find out about lover B.
Why didn't you say anything?
Because George and I have been friends for years. I was hoping that would mean something.
I don't understand.
No, I don't suppose you do. I had the foolish idea that he wouldn't be able to go through with it. That at the last minute, he couldn't pull the trigger. He must love you very much.
He does.
Apparently. He even let you have an affair with another man. But that had a practical purpose, didn't it? The both of you needed a scapegoat.
Goodbye, Arthur.
Running back to George. I wonder if you've used him, too.
Wonder all you like.
Allison, this isn't over yet.
Isn't it? Nothing happened here tonight. Nothing you can prove. It's our word against yours.
Not exactly. I showed Mr. Weston a trick a few hours ago, but the real trick is I left the recorder running. Allison tried to have me killed tonight. Didn't you hear me? I heard you, Arthur. What went wrong?
He was expecting it.
Impossible.
He found out about Gil months ago. Tonight was a setup.
What are you two talking about? Did you call the police?
No.
Well, no harm. That's just a sample. There's more, of course.
You can't use it in court.
Learn your law, darling. Recorded evidence is admissible in California if it's related to the commission of any felony involving violence. I think tonight applies, don't you?
What are you going to do?
I thought you were leaving.
What are you going to do?
I have 3, what was George's word? Alternatives. Sit down, Alice. One, I can send this tape to Mr. Weston. He's a rather violent young man. I'd hate to be in your shoes or George's if he finds out that he was your mutual puppet. 2, I can give the tape to the police. You and George will be arrested and tried. Alternative number 3. And by the way, this is a real bullet, not a blank. What's to stop me from killing you?
You can't be serious.
Think about it. Gil's fingerprints are still on this gun. I'm sure you've set him up with your friends. Told him how irrational he is. If he can be framed for my murder, why not yours? Same frame, different victim.
Arthur.
It all works out rather nicely, doesn't it? He came here tonight and pleaded with you to divorce me. You refused, and the two of you had a fight. You got the gun, he took it away from you. I believe the phrase is crime of passion.
He'll tell the police you were here.
As George said, who will believe him? Especially if I have an alibi.
You don't.
Oh, but I might. Remember my editor, Ms. Prescott? Suppose just for the sake of argument that she's in love with me and that she'll swear I spent the night with her.
You're lying.
Am I?
It doesn't matter. George knows.
But he can't tell the truth, can he? Not as long as I have this tape. Think of the fun I'll have with good old George over the coming years. 3 alternatives. Which one should it be?
What are you going to do? Tell me, Arthur.
I have a suggestion for you, darling. Why don't you read my mind?
Saturday, Stockard Channing stars with James Ferrantino, Colleen Dewhurst, and Edward Albert in the powerful TV movie Silent Victory, the Kitty O'Neill story. See this explosive drama of a deaf girl who flirted with death to become a top Hollywood stuntwoman. Silent Victory, the Kitty O'Neill story. Next Saturday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Wednesday, Spider-Man faces a crime wave started by a mind control drug. Next, a mistaken delivery is only the beginning of problems on one day at a time.
Well, what makes me happy is you getting your piano out of here.
What am I going to do with it?
I'll give you a suggestion.
Next, a blonde turns a business trip into a big affair for Tom Willis on The Jeffersons. Then,
Dugan is milking this project. As your lawyer, I have to tell you that you need proof.
Kaz is caught in the middle defending a priest who accuses an old friend of graft. All coming on Wednesday.
If you think Baryshnikov is the greatest dancer of the age, Baryshnikov thinks the title belongs to Fred Astaire.
Oh, he's genius.
That story and the Great American Oil Swindle, Sunday on 60 Minutes, followed by All in the Family, Alice, and the premiere of Marathon Man. A great Sunday starting at 7, 6 Central and Mountain.
From the moment of birth, the lungs provide every life-sustaining breath. Protect your lungs. Don't smoke. It's a matter of life and breath.
This is CBS.
News Scene next on 5.
You may already know that Ford is the #1 selling truck in the USA. You may be surprised to know that 75% of them are sold to people just like you for personal use. At Neil Pope Ford, we have the truck for you. Pickups, vans, 4x4s, for business or pleasure, for lease or buy, at prices so many of our customers talk about.
A 30-inch GE electric range for just $199? Where else but Robert's grand opening sale, I-85 at Jimmy Carter Boulevard.
There's more value for you at Robert's.
President Carter returns to Atlanta Tuesday for visits to the General Assembly and Georgia Tech. It's his third trip home in less than 2 months, home to the people who provided him with the initial support for his run for the presidency. But how would some of those same Georgians score Jimmy Carter's performance after 2 years in the White House? Join Charles Ely Monday night for a special report on the results of an exclusive News Scene Darden Research public opinion poll. Georgians evaluate the president.
TV5 News Scene, the Atlanta news team with Ken Roberts and Sharon Summers. Superstar Sports with Bill Hartman. Pam Martin with Color Radar Weather. Here's Ken Roberts.
Good evening. Roads are bad out there tonight, to put it mildly, and they won't get any better. Pam, what does it look like?
Well, Ken, as you know, there is a winter storm warning in effect for the northern half of Georgia. Right now, we have a mixture of freezing rain, sleet, and some snow falling in the Atlanta metro area, as TV5 color radar shows you. It's going to continue throughout the night and probably into tomorrow afternoon. So if you don't have to travel, don't get out on the road. There are already some places where you can't. Roswell Road north of Interstate 285 is closed. All roads in North Fulton County are said to be impassable. Roads in DeKalb County are in similar shape, and there have been many accidents throughout the metro area. Gwinnett and Hall County police say roads in those counties are closed to all but emergency traffic, and the bridges on I-285 and I-20 are icing over. There will be more ice on the roads and on trees and on power lines before this night is over, so be careful, and I'll have more on the weather later on.
Okay, Pam, thank you very much. 2 DeKalb County police officers were stabbed today when they tried to take a man into custody in Lithonia, Georgia. 45-year-old John Mullis was killed after he stabbed officers Steve Kelly and Buddy Jennings. Kelly was stabbed twice in the chest. Jennings stabbed once in the groin. The incident occurred at 1045 Kingsway Drive in Lithonia. The officers were trying to transport Mullis to the Georgia Regional Mental Hospital when he pulled a concealed hunting knife. Both officers were treated and released from a local hospital. 2 people were killed this morning in a train-car collision in Doraville, Georgia. John W. Clayton of Doraville and Joyce Latham from right here in Atlanta were killed when the car they were traveling in was hit by that train. That accident occurred on Georgia Highway 23 and Amwilder Road. Officials say that Clayton was trying to beat that train to an intersection when the car was struck. Mrs. Latham died on impact. Clayton died this afternoon in Shaliford Hospital. The train's engineer said that he never saw the car. Funeral services for 8-year-old Rhonda Joan Tanner were held today in Cedartown, and TV5's John Weatherford was on the scene.
The small community of Cedartown was shocked this week by the story of what had happened to little Rhonda Tanner. She had been picked up from school Tuesday afternoon by a man she apparently knew. A man who had told school officials he was picking Rhonda up because her father had been in an accident. There hadn't been any accident. The town learned of Rhonda's death Wednesday afternoon. She had been stabbed. Then came the shocking news of her uncle's arrest for allegedly committing the crime. The town was stunned and angered. Rhonda's funeral was held today, a simple half-hour service at the Southside Baptist Church in Cedartown. More than 250 family and friends crowded into the little church.
As we talked with the mother the other afternoon, and we talked about the service, she made a statement that I would like to relay to you, and that's simply this: no one can preach Rhonda's funeral. She preached it herself. We all do. As we live, we preach our own funeral. This brother and myself today are just here to share with you from God's Word some comforting words that our Lord has spoken. We can't do any funeral preaching. We're not here for that. We're here to share comfort.
It was a funeral made possible through contributions of those present and others who were not. Rhonda's life hadn't been insured, and without help from others, her parents may not have been able to pay the burial expenses. The story of the tragedy that befell Rhonda Tanner and her family doesn't end here. It began Tuesday with word of her disappearance, and Wednesday with the word of her death, and the arrest of her 24-year-old uncle, James Messer, who allegedly committed the crime. He will be arraigned Tuesday in Polk County Superior Court, but the story won't end there either. It'll take a long time for this scar to heal in Cedartown. From Southside Baptist Church in Cedartown, John Weatherford, TV5 News Scene.
Bill Hartman is next with all of today's sports highlights, including that spectacular crash that occurred at Daytona. Superstar Sports is next on News Scene.
Riches presents the Magnavox Annual Sale. Entertaining savings on everything Magnavox. Color TVs. Black and white TVs. Stereo consoles. Stereo components. All from the
marvelous Magnavox annual sale. All for you now at Rich's.
PM Magazine, a lighthearted look at people, places, and things. On Monday's edition, PM goes to work with the MARTA lady, Beverly Molander, to meet the person who keeps Atlanta commuters rolling each morning and afternoon. Then, we'll meet the owner of another well-known voice, singer-composer Neil Diamond, and find out about his life, his music, and his future. All that and more on the next edition of PM Magazine Monday at 7:30.
Jenny needed to be wanted, but did she give too much?
They treat me like I'm a football, like just some thing that they can play with or kick around. I just want the guys to like me, you know? Be nice to me. I'm nice to them, but they never are to me. Why aren't they nice to me?
When Jenny When, Sunday night at 6:30 on TV5.
Well, there was some crash at Daytona.
I could not believe it where you see it on tape. The 300-mile sportsman race turned into a nightmare of crashes at Daytona. Darrell Waltrip won the rain-shortened event. He avoided the catastrophes that reached out and grabbed 7 other cars. It's one of the worst racing accidents.